Welcome back to Grit and Gut Podcast, where toughness talks, the grit, the grind, the gut, and the greatness, all things wrestling. I'm your co-host, Coach Craig VanDyke.
And I'm Mike Harbison, and today we're going to be talking with Coach Tim Box, one of the most versatile wrestlers in America, and we're going to be talking about beach wrestling, folk style, freestyle, Greco, and some JUCO wrestling.
All right, hey Mike,
Awesome.
before we jump in, hey, we got the collegiate season just started. Is it a foregone conclusion? Is there anyone that's going to beat Penn State? Is there any chance? Is there any scenario where Penn State doesn't win a national title?
Man, I think Oklahoma State's going to make a nice push. Also, man, someone commented on our last post on Nebraska, which was kind of like, I was like, you never know, man. Nebraska, they might be a sleeper coming out, So, yeah. What about Tim? What do you think?
Yeah, I would say Nebraska's looking tough. I mean, a lot of it depends on Big Ferrari to see what he can do up a heavyweight. Oklahoma State, yeah, I mean, just seeing what Coach Taylor's done with some athletes already. I mean, Zahid at the World Championship looked real, to see what he did with him in a relatively short amount of time. Yes. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So we'll see. Yeah, it's exciting that hopefully the gap gets closed a little bit and we have a little more parity with some of these teams here. I think that'll be exciting.
For sure.
So what I didn't hear was anyone say, yeah, I think they can lose. So I'm going to go with, yeah, you both think Penn State's going to win the national title again. All right. So, hey, Timmy Box, as Mike mentioned, one of the most versatile wrestlers and coaches in the nation. Your resume would take up the entire podcast here, but just to hit some highlights, Coach Box is our beach national team coach. They've been doing great things. They had a 4-year medal drought, and since he's taken over, they've had 21 individual beach medals. He's coached. So the beach system works a little different. We'll have Tim get into that a little. Not only does he coach that, he coached the U17 beach world girls to a world championship. He's coached 5 of top 3 world championship finishes, 2 in senior, 4 in age group categories. Man, I got to pick out a few things, man. You're killing it at the beach level. You're killing it at the junior college level at Palomar. I got my Palomar shirt on for you today, Coach Box. Yeah, he's had 4 state champions there, 31 state medalists, top 3 finish not too long ago. As an athlete himself, he was a UWW Beach Wrestling World Series silver medalist. In college, he was a freestyle and Greco-Roman All-American. He was a D1 national qualifier, had 95 wins in Division I, 54 coming by way of bonus points, and was a 4-time conference medalist. He started his career at Cal State Bakersfield, then went on to the University of Northern Colorado. He was nationally ranked all 4 years. He's been the Big 12 Athlete of the Week. He was on the NCAA All-Rookie Team selection. He was a Freestyle Masters National Champion. He was a 3-time high school All-American, 2-time California State medalist. He was a California Freestyle and Greco-Roman State champion. He won the Central Section Masters while he was in high school. So as you guys can tell, one of the most versatile wrestlers and coaches. He does it all. He coaches it all. Welcome to the show, Coach Box.
Thank you. Hey, I'm more impressed with you reading that all than anything.
It was kind of like a throwback to the Micro Machine commercials. Remember those back in the day where the guy was like, right? Like, it's like,
guys, I'm tired. That was my warm up. I'm sweating from that, man. That was a good one.
Auctioneer level there, man.
That's
impressive.
Awesome.
Right on. All right. So, hey, let's just jump right in. Let's start with the beach. Tim, please describe to us, for our listeners who don't know much about beach wrestling, maybe they've seen some highlights. Can you highlight for us the main differences? As we know, in the United States, folk style is the most popular style. Could you just highlight differences between folk style and beach scoring systems? And if you want to mention some tactics, that's fine too.
Sure. Yeah. So it's pretty different than most other wrestling styles that most people know in the States. Folk style is a way longer match. Beach is only 1 3-minute period, and it's the first person to get to 3 points. So it's a lot more like sumo than anything else. Hands and feet are the only thing that can touch. So you can't touch your elbow, face, knees, whatever. And basically it's all hand fighting and wrestling done up on your feet. There's not really there's basically no ground wrestling at all, although I'll get into some subtleties here in a minute. And you can push people out. You can bring them down to any other part of their body than hands and feet. Or if you throw them to their back and get a 3-pointer, then the match is over automatically. So a lot of people think it's like a tech fall, as in I'm 3 points ahead. It's actually just the first person to get 3 points. So if you go out there and bomb somebody right out of their back, it could be 10 seconds and match is over automatically. Pretty cool. It has some weird rules. So it gets into some weird stuff where, you know, in a sport like freestyle where they have dynamic action, who initiated a move, even if you go across your own back, if you end up with that other person on their back, we all know you get the points, right? In beach, all that's out the window. So basically, if I lat drop you, land on my back, even if I end up with you on your back, the other person's going to get points. So it really takes simplicity to another level. And the idea is they want a spectator-friendly sport to try to eventually push this thing into games like Olympic Games, beach world games, things like that.
Yeah, that's interesting,
like?
and
Go ahead, Craig. Sorry.
sorry. So you mentioned, if I start to throw you like in a lat drop and my shoulder, my back hits and I land on top. Now, I would say even if I've never seen wrestling and I see somebody throw somebody and I'm on top of them, to me that might seem like I'm the guy that deserves points there. But you're saying in beach that is not the case.
Not the case. Yeah. So a lot of the time people get tripped up because they're so used to the other styles.
Yeah.
And they'll hit something beautiful, but they'll land on their own back, whether it's like a chest wrap or a lat drop, whatever. So it kind of makes it difficult to go out there and hit some moves like that. But you get used to it, and I think it does start making sense after you're involved with it for a little while. And I don't mind it so much anymore. But yeah, it's the other thing is, if you do go for those throws, you got to make them clean. At one of our last events, one of our world medalists, Jabari Irons, hit a lat drop, and it was like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and ended up getting the points because he planted the other guy just before hitting his own shoulder.
Very nice.
I've also seen suplexes out there. Dan Cardenas from Stanford hit like the nicest suplex I've ever seen. I scored that one. So yeah.
Hey.
Very cool.
At least from I think, you said they try to make it more spectator friendly. From a spectator friendly aspect of it, though, for someone who maybe doesn't know much about wrestling, that's an easier way to look like, say, oh yeah, they scored, right? Less need for challenges and replays and different things along those lines.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's like almost painfully simple in a lot of places, right? We do get a lot of challenges just to see who landed first.
Okay.
But even that, it's like there's not a lot of like guesswork there, right? We'll throw a challenge and it's pretty clear to me, like they'll have it on the big screen. If somebody hits their knee first, they're looking at every angle. And usually they're pretty quick, and it's easier for the fans to see also. Everybody's looking at the big screen and like, oh, okay, yep, he clearly touched first, point to this other person. Not a lot of arguing. There we go. We understand what happened. So in that regard, it's pretty, I like it.
Well, that's great. Well, Timmy, we know that you...
I was going to say, where are some common places in the U.S. to find? I know in Missouri, they host a tournament, which was kind of odd. I thought that it was in Missouri, but where are the more common places to see like beach wrestling tournaments?
Yeah. So really all over the country at this
Okay.
point, we kind of have beach wrestling advocates and people running tournaments all throughout the U.S. all summer. Ed Duncan, who manages USA Beach Wrestling. So there's actually two organizations. There's USA Beach Wrestling and then also USA Wrestling, obviously. And so Ed Duncan has USA Beach Wrestling, and he has the Tour of America. So basically from North Carolina all throughout the U.S. all summer, they tour all different states, and then they end up in California here around August. So North Carolina is where they do beach nationals. And then it actually rotates every other year between here and California. They have the two events every year, but it's like there's one world team qualifier and one U.S. national tournament. And those flip back and forth.
And which one is usually the world team qualifier? Is that the beach nationals?
It depends. So age group wise, you have to qualify at whatever the first event is. And that's almost always in North Carolina, like in May, middle of May. So if you want to make like a U17 or a U20 world championship team, pretty much you have to go to that event. Most of the qualifiers are figured out for the senior world series at that event also. But you can still come as like a last chance qualification event to the California one that's a little later if we're looking to fill our extra spots, because we actually get to take 3 per weight, which is pretty nice. We don't have just the one, and there's only 4 weight classes for men and 4 for women. So, we can take a bigger squad and help our chances out of doing well. Yeah.
Coach Box, what are those weight classes for each?
Yeah. So for the men, it's 70 kilos, 80 kilos, 90 kilos, and then 90 plus kilos. And 90 plus is completely open. So we've seen some gigantic.
We've seen Kyle. We've seen Kyle out there. Yeah. We know.
Yeah, we've seen Kyle.
He's bulking. Yeah,
he's up in the 320-ish range. The crazy thing about that is there's a guy who outweighs him by over 100 pounds.
Oh my gosh! Have they competed against each other?
Oh yeah, a bunch of times.
Yeah,
a bunch of times. They've had some good matches, but the guy's just a behemoth, right?
Yeah,
and a good wrestler.
Sure. And what about on the women's side?
Yeah, on the women's side, it goes 50 kilos, 60, 70, 70, over 70. Yeah.
And we have a great wrestler up there, Bomarito. Do you want to say a few words about her?
Absolutely. Yeah. She's one of the biggest unknown goats of American wrestling. She's just won her 3rd world championship. Just an absolute all-around great wrestler, great human. Couldn't be more proud of her for going and winning that 3rd title. She's dropping weight to go compete in the NCAA season to make, 207? And so she had to lose significant amount of weight, which also meant we had to change her style up quite a bit. And, with her coaches at King, I definitely helped her readjust her style for beach. She was able to finish the season really well. And actually she took out a senior world finalist from freestyle in the quarter in freestyle in her quarterfinal match here at the world finals. So she finished in an amazing way.
Good.
One of the most coachable athletes I think I've ever coached, if not the most. I was joking with her. It's like playing a video game, right? I mean, it's like you yell something for her to do, and she just does it like that, and it paid off. She's awesome.
Well, I got a chance to see her compete out there in Croatia and chat with her a little bit, and just seems like the type of athlete you want to be the coach of. Just like you said, it seems like she listens, absorbs, and goes out there and performs, and is obviously dedicated to the sport. Talking about the weight loss she's doing multiple styles at the same time. Yeah, just all around, that's the type of athlete you want to coach.
Absolutely. I'm big on being professional as, an athlete as well. And she is, she shows up on time. She does what she needs to do. She asks the right questions. And, I'm excited to go see her chase down an NCAA title. I don't know if people know what's headed their way.
Nice. I love that.
Awesome.
Bomarito about to drop some bombs on you.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, Coach Box, with beach wrestling, they had a long medal drought. I think Craig had mentioned that earlier. And then under your leadership, the team has secured world medalists now, including obviously its first senior world champion in 18 years. What would you say you prioritized to be able to really turn that around or you've turned it around like really quickly too as well?
Yeah, I don't think I can take credit for everything, obviously.
Yeah.
It's when they brought me on, I really just wanted to dig into like, why are we not performing? We have some good athletes who are going over here.
Yeah.
Like, what can I add that's actually going to help more than me just going over there and just kind of showing my face and this and that. And so for me, it's like I really dug into like what could help our athletes more than anything. And that was coming up with like training plans, things to emphasize, just like, going over and wrestling Europeans, Iranians, stuff like that. They're so good at the tie-ups. And part of my thing is like, hey, we got to be ready. Otherwise, we're going to go over there and get pushed out 3 times in a row, lose all of our matches. And then just understanding the brackets, right? I mean, just these athletes need support at these UWW competitions. And I feel like, not to say that wasn't there before, but that's what I try to do is just support them in every way possible.
That's right.
I get on these athletes as much as I can remotely, right? I mean, with our heavyweight Kyle, for example, we watched back every single match he wrestled this season, and we diagrammed like every point. Like I literally plugged it into a pie chart. All right, you need to do, you're getting scored on in these situations 85% of the time. It was like over under ties to a drag, to a throw, to this or that. And so I just dug into the data there and just being their support, while we're over there, while we're back at home. And And then just understanding the competition structure in beach too, because it's such a weird bracket format that it's like, it's almost like soccer brackets. Like, have you guys seen like a World Cup bracket where there's like, you wrestle everybody in the bracket? Understanding the points is crucial because you could win and not know that you needed to win by 5 points in order to get drawn into the semifinals. So a lot of the time I'm doing the math in between rounds and be like, hey, Kyle, Ellie, whoever, you guys got to not just win. If you want to make it through into the semis, you got to go score 2 points and then score a 3-pointer. And it's some weird psychological thing because I think like 4 out of the last 6 times we've been able to do that in that situation.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. So, hey, Timmy, switching gears a little bit, sounds like you're going to be the coach of the Junior Olympics this year too. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you need from us as a country to make that successful?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about that. Beach is officially in the Junior Olympics in Dakar, Senegal next year. We're exactly a year out, a little less than a year, a couple days less than a year. And, what I need is just as much support, just like getting the word out as possible. We want to send our best athletes over there. There's so many good wrestlers here in the States. There's so many wrestlers with the beach style already. And, this type of stuff just needs to reach them, and tell you what, the Junior Olympics is a big deal. And we just want the best athletes out there. I don't know how many spots we have qualified yet. We did pretty good at the Junior World Championships this past year at U17. And it's age group 15 to 18 is what we're looking for. And, we still have time to qualify, right? Those spots may be qualified, but we don't have exact athletes who are going to be for sure in.
So what do they need to do to start that process, Tim? What should they do if, hey, I wanna try out for that? What's the first step they take?
Yeah, I mean, I would just be ready to set aside some time to get to beach nationals. I really think that's probably going to be the qualifier, right? USA Wrestling, we haven't ironed that out 100% yet, just because we don't know exactly how many weights we have qualified. But I would expect to have them win beach nationals, and then there's some that may have to wrestle a 2 out of 3, like Final X type situation, which we've done before.
Nice. So, where and when is beach nationals?
I don't have the exact date on me. I probably should have had that before, but it's usually in May, second week of May in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll drop that in the.
Yeah,
we'll drop that in the caption for you.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then, hey, Timmy, you're also, hey, you're my neighbor. We're only about 30 minutes apart from each other here in San Diego. You coach Palomar Junior College in San Marcos, a neighbor to San Diego. Tell us a little bit about, for those who don't know, the California Junior College system, a little bit separate from others in the nation. I got my Palomar shirt on here for you. So tell us a little bit about the system in California, and then a little bit about your team. And I know you guys are ramping up for the state tournament here soon.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So California has its own system of junior college wrestling. So basically it's just all up and down the state. There's about 25 teams who offer JUCOs, and they keep adding more every year, which is pretty exciting. It's just a way to get 2 years of great wrestling training in for those who, for whatever reason, don't want to go to a 4-year. It's a great system in that there's so many good coaches throughout the state who have been in their head coaching roles for, some of them for decades, right? We have NCAA champs, we have Greco All-Americans who have Pan Am medals, multiple time All-Americans from Oklahoma State. Like up and down the state, the coaching is great, right? It's an opportunity just to develop and hopefully go on to the next level or, go into the workforce, whatever, with just, a really great support system. And Palomar specifically, we're the only school within the San Diego area that has wrestling. They just added Imperial Valley College. They're about 2 hours away from us, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty exciting that they added also. But we just offer sunshine and wrestling, right? We don't offer any scholarships in our league, but we do have really affordable tuition in school and a lot of resources to help kids get where they want to go.
And San Diego is downright beautiful. So like, man, the weather, everything. So yeah, that's not a bad.
It's part of the reason why I'm here.
It ain't too bad. So
yeah.
So, Timmy, our buddy Andy is not going to be happy if we don't give a shout out to UCSD. They do have an NCAA program down there in La Jolla. but not a part of the junior college system, but part of the NCAA.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of opportunities in San Diego to wrestle. Unfortunately, San Diego State, Mesa College, a lot of programs cut. Grossmont College cut programs, but Timmy's holding it down for San Diego there at Palomar College. We appreciate that. Hey, Timmy, I got a question for you, man. I know you're a smart guy. You like to read. If you can think of your favorite pieces of literature, what character do you most identify with in all the readings that you've done, and why?
That's a tough question. I think I could go a lot of ways. The Count of Monte Cristo comes to mind. I don't know why.
Okay.
Edmond Dantes.
Awesome.
I took one book with me when I transferred from Cal State Bakersfield to Northern Colorado. And it was that book, Count of Monte Cristo. I've read it about 4 times. And it was basically a guy who kind of got screwed over in life and went and got revenge on people. Not that I'm seeking revenge, but he took control of his own life. He went from being in jail, wrongfully accused, locked up, to basically getting lucky and stumbling upon some ancient treasure. And then he goes and, makes the life that he wants and kind of ends on a happy note. So I love that book, totally like a guilty pleasure story of mine, but yeah, I'll go with
awesome. Very, very cool.
And so real quick, another question. What's the toughest match or moment in your wrestling career that taught you the most about yourself?
Oh, man, a lot of matches. That's a tough one, but I always come back to this crazy match I had in the Big 12 quarterfinals. A guy named Cole Mendenhall.
Okay.
And, I was seated, I think we were seated like 4th and 5th. So we were right kind of the same area. I think that was the case. And so I expected to beat him. I hadn't wrestled him yet, but he was just tough. Right? Every time you wrestled a Wyoming guy, you knew that they were coming after you. And, I had a good game plan for him. Then he just freaking hits me in the face, takes me down. Right. And it was just an all out brawl. We got chippy with each other. At one point, he grabbed me and just slammed my face into the ground. I pushed him, gave up a point. The clock went out. The flow wrestling went out. So we're sitting there waiting for like 5 minutes, had to put our shirts back on. At the end, he's just trying to jump over the top of me. It's just a crazy match. I've been back to watch it a few times. I think I won on riding time like 16-15 or something.
Holy cow! Barn burner.
Had to dig deep. Gave up a bunch of stalling points, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I feel like I'm never gonna forget that match after that.
Wow, incredible.
And then another one real quick. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of wrestling advice, what would it be?
Just focus on the things that are actually gonna matter, right?
Yep.
Like focusing on what actions I'm gonna take in the match. That's something I tell the beach athletes, I tell Palomar guys. Like, don't let your mind wander so much and think about the things that aren't gonna serve you. Right.
Yeah.
What can you think of? The next action I'm going to take, getting to the next best position, and just trying to like let the worry go through you. And you don't have to like overthink anything. Just go out there, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you're trying. So you got nothing to worry about. So
hey,
I think
great.
Just telling myself that, chill out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, that's great advice, Coach Box. And we appreciate you coming on the show. Hey, we appreciate all you're doing for the world of wrestling, all styles. That's what this podcast is about, all things wrestling. And you're doing it, you're living it, you're coaching it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.
And we appreciate you, brother, and keep leading by example. And this sport's better because of guys like you, for sure. So thanks for tuning in to Grit and Gut, where toughness talks, because on the mat or in life, toughness isn't given, it's earned.